to story number 1.
Okay, guys, story number 1. This is a really interesting story because there were about 300 WordPress sites that were being hacked in a fake ransomware attack. A new wave of attacks starting late last week has hacked close to 300 WordPress sites to display fake encryption notices, trying to trick the site owners into paying 0.1 Bitcoin for restoration. What do you guys think about this story?
It's difficult for me to disguise my admiration. That's
Exactly.
an.
If you can get them to pay without doing any work.
I feel really bad about it.
Well, they didn't work. So like,
Yeah.
It's a weird situation where you have enough skill to take over a WordPress site, but not enough skill to deploy ransomware.
Correct. That's right. But why would you need to if you can get paid?
Once you,
But evidence showed they didn't get paid.
right, but I feel like once you can break into a WordPress site, you should be able to deploy ransomware. It's a weird
Yeah, that's a good point.
where you can break in but not deploy.
Very half-assed of people if you think about it.
I think it's very reasonable because, I mean, they are only asking for 0.1 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really a ransomware.
That's the genius part.
Yeah,
The genius
It's pretty clever, actually.
part
When
is
it
trying to
comes to the
scale
point,
something down, which is much cheaper.
Right. And an
Clever.
admin might just pay it.
Yeah.
we have come to the point where ransomware has its cheap imitation.
Well, the beauty is if you start to weigh that against a WordPress consultant to fix your site, if you don't know what you're doing, it's much cheaper and much faster to just pay.
definitely.
Six
They're
rand.
like the Walmart of WordPress or of ransomware.
I mean, 1.1 Bitcoin is what, like $600?
6 rand. 6,000.
What is that in pesos?
No, that would be 10%, but this is 1%,
What's
right?
the current cost of Bitcoin? It's either 20,000 or 60,000.
I think it's
It's
Well,
six-
It's Bitcoin. It's somewhere in that range.
It just went from 60 to 20,000 as we've been talking.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
back to 60.
Back to- I think technically this is interesting. All they did was hijack a plugin, and WordPress the whole ecosystem heavily relies on plugins. One of the big selling points of WordPress is, hey, we've got so many plugins. So lesson here is be careful what you install. Don't just willy-nilly install anything.
But think all the way through it, right? So customers go to your site and they see that you've been taken over by ransomware, right? And then what's your response? No, you don't understand. They didn't actually deploy any ransomware.
It didn't encrypt.
They just messed up with our site and they ran away. Right? That's exactly what the guilty party would say.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
exactly. Yeah. No, it was a plugin. We just installed a bad plugin. Trust us. That's all it was.
Trust us.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to disguise my
Eh,
that
right.
scheme.
You're
I think
welcome.
Frank wanted to make a comment.
Yes.
I want to say it's pretty clever because it's not even targeted to big companies, but individuals. So they are not likely to hire a specialist or something to solve it.
Well, I think I agree with you, but I think at some point, if you allegedly were caught by ransomware and you were having a rough time around that, and the paid, I mean, the bounty, it's $600. Yeah, probably you should think that either your information it's really worth nothing, or you're not getting really hijacked by ransomware people.
I see.
Reminds me of the last BNB where we had like the whole Argentinian population's like data stolen. So it's like
That's $600 value. Yeah, I bet.
And unfortunately, Messi is 598.
Yeah.
598.
If you were to stretch that value, yeah, maybe 600, but I would go more, I would lean more towards $100, $50.
oh my God. Okay.